Mr. Peter Brown, he's the president of the SA Institute of Architectural Technologists. Is he here? Mr. Brown? Welcome. Oh, you're the Peter they speak about.
Yes.
So confident, we're looking forward.
I'm sorry I wasn't here this morning for all the emotion. But I think we should all learn to be a little bit like the mafia. You know, when they kill you, they say, look, this is nothing personal, it's just business. I think that's really where we should all start. This is strictly business. I'm just going to, I met Adrian a few months ago, and this thing has come at the right time. You know, I run workshops around this country, 150, 200 professionals and others every week. We're standing in front of them, and only about between not even 2 to 5% of the professionals have any form of contract, have any understanding of contract management, and that is a frightening aspect. And I'll just throw you some figures, and somebody mentioned 14% here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of illegal buildings in South Africa every year runs into 40 billion. The construction industry alone, in the 2010-2011 figures that came from the Strategic Forum, construction industry is worth over 330 billion a year. The houses are just residential, about 59 billion. Commercial industrial, about 60 billion, and then infrastructure build, probably about 160 odd billion. So you can see we're not talking small figures. And I threw a question at the CBE the other day. I happened to have we had a workshop, not a workshop, but a stakeholders meeting, and I threw a question to them. I said, guys, please tell me, the construction industry alone was worth 300 billion in 2010-2011, but the construction industry, the allocation from the budget was 780 billion. 30% of our GDP. Our GDP in South Africa runs at about 2.6 trillion rand. 30% of that went to the infrastructure, mainly construction. I asked them a very pertinent question. If the construction industry only managed to produce 300 billion, construction and building, tell me, where's the other 400 billion? It was rather a pertinent question. I've now been summoned to the CBE's office on Friday. But we have to do it. These are the sort of tough questions that we have to ask. But as I say, I met Adrian because these figures are they're real. And it's going to get bigger and bigger. If you look just at Mozambique at the moment, they found gas on the east coast. They're pouring in 50 billion, the World Bank there, and they've allocated a further 300 billion to the development of the infrastructure. And South Africa is the springboard for the development of the rest of Africa. Simple as that. We are the only people that have got the infrastructure in Africa, and I heard somebody mention that they were working in Nigeria or Kenya, and the springboard for development in Africa is huge. The infrastructure development that has to take place there. And the problem we have is that we have the professionals, but we have the lack of skills within certain areas in order to manage these things correctly. This has come at the right time. We are sitting on the brink of major development within Africa, and specifically in South Africa. The accountability of the professional is, and I just heard the young lady talking about professional indemnity, very short and sweet. Thank you. I respect your drinking time. But however, you'll find that even the local authorities now, even the local authorities themselves now can insist that you have professional indemnity. It is a huge thing, and they're not new building regulations, by the way. They are only amendments. These things have been around since 1977. I think why people think they're new is because they haven't read them. It's as simple as that. The only new one is the energy efficiency, which is going to place a tremendous burden on the management by the professionals of their projects. And that goes right down to grassroots level. We have 9,000 registered professionals in South Africa, and I can assure you we have to deal at the drafting level to show them basically how to manage basic little projects. It's a massive task. And I want to congratulate Adrian. What's your name again? And Cliffy and the rest of the team. Also you, tenders, what do you call yourselves again? On tender. Okay, I don't know where you got that from, but I enjoy it. Okay, and just read these tools are what we are looking for. Because of the demand on the professional, Ian mentioned it very briefly. He was more concerned about the fees. I'm not. You shouldn't be discounting anyway. Take it out of your thing. Shouldn't be discounting. None of you. Engineering, and just tell the client, sorry, that's it. Okay. That's what you're going to pay, because at the end of the day, we are accountable. Simple as that. If he wants to go somewhere else, he's welcome. You know, what do they say in the classics? Soort, soek, soort. You want it cheap? There it is. Goedkoopers? Duurkoop. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to just congratulate them. We are at the cold face of what's happening in this country. Massive changes. Look at the National Planning Commission. The comment in the National Planning Commission throughout the whole document. Very simple. Adaptation. We have to adapt. We have to change. And some of us old grey-haired foxes, we have to adapt rather harsh. So congratulations, gentlemen. We will throw every support, and we're already dealing with how we're going to put it out to the very lower levels, even on high-density housing, how they can manage this thing in that area. Let me tell you, don't believe everything you read. 95% of the people in South Africa are normal people. They go shopping, they buy motor cars, they build their houses, they want professional advice. It's only the 5% that we have to deal with, and we've dealt with one of them already. I'm not mentioning Juju. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry I overstepped my mark, Mr. Lawyer. By the way, there were 9 billion rands worth of transfer duties in South Africa last year. 9 billion. Okay. So that just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, it's a huge market. And we come to fees. Each one of you professionals, architects and other professionals in this room, you should have earned per capita about 16 million each. How much have you been discounted? This will now stop properly. And thank you, gentlemen, and we support you, and we know that we are going to go a long way together. Thank you very much.